Here's what I would do. I pull in the driveway, and instead of jumping out of the car and running in the house, I turn the engine off and I lay my head down on the steering wheel. And I need detox. I need a few minutes. And again, here's what I'm letting it all go. And I'm releasing the day, and I'm releasing the email I probably shouldn't have sent that person. I'm just letting it go, right? Because I'm allowing a DMZ between the chaos and urgency of my day and the person that has shaped me into by home, and walking in the front door. So there's space, there's margin, there's a buffer zone. But I really like pull in the driveway, turn off the car, don't get out. Don't get out of the car yet. You're not ready to walk in that door. And so give yourself 5 minutes to get into a better place.
Hey crew, this is Adam and Emily, and you are listening to The Conversation. Today we have episode 293 with John Eldredge. I don't really know much about John. Could you share just a snippet?
John is a man's man in the absolute best sense of the word. And what I love about John is he's a person who's deeply connected to God and really values that. And yet at the same breath, he's a person who wants to make a difference with his life. Mm-hmm. And so he really combines those two things. I think technically he's near the age of retirement, and yet he has no desire to retire. Yeah. And so again, he's just a person that's really planted right where he is with God, and yet he is a go-getter too.
Yeah, so wants to keep pushing.
I feel like this wisdom just oozes from him. So
yeah, that's
really
awesome.
Excited about this.
Kind of along that note, any leaders, specifically pastors, we have created a PDF download that lists 12 books that you should read. If you are a pastor, I think a lot of them could apply to just leaders in general.
Leaders in general, yeah.
Yeah. If you go to adamweber.com/everypastor, there's a download listed there. 12 books that Adam thinks that you need to read.
Yeah, and I would say, well, you said it perfectly, for pastors, but also for leaders in general. And a couple of these books I've just come across in the last 12 months even. Yeah. And they've been game-changing for me. So I'd really encourage you. It's a free download. Just go to adamweber.com/everypastor. Perfect. And get that. So
love it. The podcast is not possible without some awesome partners. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah. So this week's partners, the first one is Generous Coffee. And my friend Ben Higgins started this coffee company. Ben and I just connected again last week. One of the best humans. But Generous Coffee donates 100% of the profits to nonprofits. And so you're going to drink coffee, you might as well make a difference while doing so. So they do that, but also the coffee itself is still amazing. We brew a whole bunch of it every single weekend, and the response we get from our people is fantastic. So if you have a business, if you have a church that brews coffee on a regular basis, go buy some Generous Coffee. It's generouscoffee.com. Again, shout out to Ben Higgins. I love him so much. Our other partner is Vern-ID Mitsubishi. Vern-ID Motor Cars is a growing employee-owned company that strives to deliver dreams and transform lives. And their goal is excellence in everything that they do. My wife and I were starting to look for another vehicle for her. Currently her vehicle has like 100 and some thousand miles on it. And we've just been blown away yet again by Vern-ID. So if you're looking for an Outlander like I drive, or a Honda CR-V, which is what we're hoping to get from my wife, no matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, they're going to have it. No matter where you live, they'll ship it to you. So go visit vernid.com. Vernid.com.
Love it. So you kind of we're going to be talking about John Eldredge today.
Yep.
Can you give us 2 takeaways that they're going to get from this episode?
So there was so much. He talks first off in our conversation about finding peace in the midst of chaos, which is often our lives, specifically for leaders. A lot of times it's just really, really busy. So he talks about that. My favorite part though is he shares practical tips on how to come home well. which sounds weird, but I hear this so often. You'll be busy during the day, you're exhausted, and then you come home and you're a train wreck.
Oh my gosh,
It's
it's hard to admit, but yeah, coming home and sometimes I'm just like the devil.
Oh yeah. Well,
My husband would be like, "How's your day?" And be like, "Why are you talking to me? Like,
Yeah.
literally stop talking to me."
Well, then so you come home and you're amped, and then you make everybody feel bad. So then 30 minutes later, after you finally cool down, then you feel bad about making them feel bad.
Yep.
And it's just kind of a tailspin. And so John just shares some really helpful advice on how to come home well from work, like how to make that transition, how to be a good spouse, good parent, good human being. It's my favorite part. So
Love
on
that.
that note, sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation. How's your soul today?
My soul is well. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Same on this end too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, navigating parenting. So doing some of that.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is a senior, and my youngest is a fourth grader. And we have four, three
Okay.
boys, one girl, three biological, one adopted, and
Wow.
it has been a journey. So I'm learning right there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful is a good word for it too. Beautiful, messy. It's making me engage even more as a father. I'm tempted from time to time to put that on autopilot,
Oh, man.
and so it's yeah. I kept hearing that. I kept thinking, you kind of get them out of the infant phase and diapers, and it's easier, and it's like or not necessarily.
Really, really sorry to break it to you, pal.
Gosh. So yeah, so walking through some of that into things, but also
Yeah.
finding great joy in parenting as well.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been it's been really fun developing specifically what comes to mind is my relationship with my daughter. It's just really been sweet. She's an eighth
Oh,
grader, and she was too cool for dad for a little bit, but I think she has faced the reality that she's connected to my hip, and so that deep connection seems to override the "you're not
come
cool."
on.
So that's pretty amazing. So
Come on.
yep,
That's so beautiful.
yep.
Yeah. A friend of mine was here yesterday from New York, and he was showing me a picture of that he had taken with he and his 22-year-old daughter. And she's leaning into him, and it's just a moment in a coffee shop, but oh man, it was beautiful. May that intimacy continue to grow for you.
Uh, and from really one quick thing, my daughter loves to go on drives, car
Mm.
rides, just with me. And
You are the richest man in the world.
it's well, this is maybe why we're doing this interview. I didn't feel that way at first a lot of times, just being totally candid. It's like
Yep.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I kind of want to rest. But every time I've gotten back, I say to my wife, when she's really persistent in wanting to go on a drive, there's something she wants to talk with me about.
Dude, this is gold.
So I'm starting to see it as gold.
Okay.
At first it felt more like we could just hang out here and talk.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, hey dad, if she's inviting you into this, you better say yes every single time.
Every time.
And so that's something I'm learning.
Oh,
John, your read on our world right now and what God's up to. What would you say? Is there any and we're going to get to your book here in a second, but your read on our world and what God is up to in that. And you can take that wherever you want.
okay. So why have anxiety disorders, just anxiety issues, just exploded? it just exploded, particularly for Gen Z.
Ugh.
Um, Not because they're weak, but because they're the canary in the coal mine. Like they're telling us something about the world. The world we live in right now, just chaos. But chaos and flipping at such a speed you can't keep up with it. And so I would say for the average guy, it's just sort of like a low grade disorientation. Like what the heck is going on, and how do we make sense of all this? Um, the dark is getting darker, the light is getting lighter.
Ugh.
And I think we're actually headed into like a big old dose of that. The dark is getting darker, the light is getting lighter, because the other side of that is that people are finding God again. Like men and women are finding a life in God. People who didn't even know him are coming to him all over the world. Like there's like student revivals going on in Brazil. There's student revivals going on in the U.S. and London. They're just examples of the Spirit of God is inviting people back into the safety of His presence.
Whoa.
Life in Him, right? And so that's going on too, while the chaos and the darkness is just really, man, it's just off the rails. And so both things. So it's kind of like if you don't take refuge, if you don't have like a growing sense of integration, if you don't have a deeper life in God, the chaos. I mean, it could take me out. It could
Yeah.
take me out.
Well, so even, I mean, I go on Facebook and I thought 2020 was, in the couple years around that, I was like, this has got to be the worst it can be as far as just seeing what social media is. I mean, just like wherever a person is politically, it just seems like everybody's angry. Um, how are you personally navigating life? And maybe it's like, well, I'm not on social media. How does that look specifically for you, John? Like, just to
Yeah.
like, what do you,
Well,
how do you like, give us wisdom, basically?
yeah. Um, okay. So you're just to kind of keep perspective clear, you're talking to a 64-year-old desert father. Okay. Like over time, um, my life with God and my enjoyment of Him and communion with Him is the rescue. That's so for me, that's like the gold. And I won't give that up for anything. Like not the latest crisis, not the latest urgency. I can't go a day without it.
Ugh.
So, but like other people, I have work, and my work gets me online, and but here's what I found the other night. I was on YouTube, and I was just kind of looking at reels of like the latest news and stuff, and just trying to get a quick glimpse of what the heck's going on
Yep.
in the world. Um, and I realized, John, why are you doing this? Why are you so I was like compelled. Click, click, click. What's this? What's that? Click. And what I realized was I was looking for a sense of control by knowing. Now, just because I know what the heck's happening in Ukraine or in the Congo, like it doesn't give me 1 ounce of control, right?
Yeah.
But it was fascinating to watch. I was watching my soul. I'm like, why are you obsessed with this? You are obsessed right now with what's going on and the chaos and the crazy. And the German government is like, is it unraveling? Um, and and it was the why. Why are you doing this, John? Why does feeling informed seem to provide my soul with a sense of, oh, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Like now I know. when, I mean, nothing's changed. Like, it's like, I can't influence what's going on. Um, and then it was in that moment, I was really kind of obsessed. Click, click, click,
Yeah.
read this, watch this kind of thing. And then Jesus goes, get out. Get out right now. Get off right now. And it was late in the evening, and there was good reason to be like, John, you need to turn towards your kind of your evening rhythms. Stace and I have a lovely evening prayer time right before bed where we just release everything to God, and we say our prayers and we listen to a little worship. Sometimes we'll have communion, and it's so incredibly lovely and centering. It's just like, okay, okay, okay. I can go to bed okay, well in my soul. And he's like, "What are you doing on YouTube at this hour? Like, get off and go get out there to what is centering and orienting." Because, okay, so here would be another way of saying, you're like, "What are you seeing, John?" Disorientation,
Yep.
right? It's just, yeah, I just think that's just disorientation for a lot of people. Where is all this headed? Is that sense? But your orientation is not going to come from further inquiry into social media.
Yeah.
You watch a few more reels, you look at a few more Insta posts, you're like, so what? The orientation comes through union and communion with God.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's Psalm 73, right? He's getting so upset early in the psalm with what's happening in the world and with what he calls the wicked, and he's like, why this, why that, and then it says, until I came into your sanctuary, and then I perceived. Like, he comes into the presence of God, whatever his simple prayer communion was, and he's like, oh, I was all out of whack. Now I have perspective again. I love that. I love the honesty of the psalm.
Yeah.
And I love where he winds up, right? He's like, I have to come back to my North Star. I have to come back to my life in God and let him orient me to
Yeah.
the world, right?
That's so good.
Yeah.
So okay, so John, your book, which I'm reading through right now, like literally, I'm just gonna buy the underlined version next time I get a John Eldredge book, because I'm ruining my copy. Before I get to this though, so your name, the title is Experience Jesus Really. Uh, just one step before that though, the real Jesus, experience the real Jesus. Like, so what I like the disorientation, what I'm seeing in so many people is they're fed up with politics, specifically when Jesus is intertwined and used on
Yep.
both sides. And
Yep.
it's like, I don't want anything to do with Jesus. And what I'm like, you're not leaving, you're not annoyed with Jesus, you're annoyed with some caricature of him. Like,
Yep.
so before we actually experience Jesus, how do we know who Jesus is? Like, because I'm like, I see
Yeah.
so many people walking away from Jesus. I'm like, you're not walking away from Jesus. You're walking away from a fake Jesus.
Yep.
And what you need right now more than anything is the real Jesus. Like, and what
Yeah.
you're craving.
Mm.
And that's where my heart's breaking. It's like,
Totally.
no, you need Jesus more than ever. And he can mend every broken part of you. And he can course correct everything that's like, everything you're feeling is what he is. And I get emotional
Mm.
almost thinking about it because I'm
Mm.
preaching to myself. Adam, everything
Mm.
you're looking for and
Yeah.
everything that you're frustrated by and you're feeling vertigo in your soul, it's in him. Go to
Mm.
him. Get
Mm.
off the reels
Mm.
and getting more ticked off at the world.
Yeah.
Like, so any thoughts on any
Oh,
thoughts on
buddy,
that?
keep going, man. You are on a roll. I mean, that is so. You're just right. That's right, right, right. It's heartbreaking. Don't bail. That's not God. That's not Jesus. Not what he's like. It's not how he behaves in the world. Um, and you go like, how do you help people out of that? Well, first off, just to tell them that and go, hey, whatever you think, I can just guarantee you, I kind of know Jesus a little bit. He's not like that. Uh, so I think we can say that, I just whatever else they're going to do with the conversation, you can say that that is not what God is like. Um, and then people go, yeah, well, I tried it, or yeah, I church hurt, or whatever it is. Here's a fascinating thing you can say. Tell me about the things you love most in the world. And they'd be like, what? Yeah, just tell me. I just want to know a little bit about your soul. Tell me the things you love in the world. And they're like, oh my gosh, I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love what we can get there as a family. You're like, okay, go on. And like, well, I love my 3-year-old. He's hysterical, and he's just so fun to be around. And you're like, okay, and maybe one more thing. And they're thinking, and they're like, oh, I guess I just love beauty. You're like, that's Jesus. He is coming to you through the things you love. This is one of the great secrets of the human heart. God is pursuing you through the things you love. So when you get down, you get in the ocean and you just feel like joy and wellness, and you're like, yeah, that's God. that joy, that wellness, or you're listening to music that you love and the beauty of it, or you're playing with your kids, you go, God is coming to you. That's what he's like. That's what he's like. And this is fascinating. So Teresa of Avila she was trying to help her flock come back to Jesus, commune with Jesus. And she would use this technique. She called it the prayer of recollection. And she's like, just start with something that reminds you of goodness, because it's reminding you of what the goodness of God is like.
Whoa.
Start with something that reminds you of beauty. So yeah, I think in a lot of these contexts, you can't just come in with a full tilt. Have you seen The Chosen? Watch The Chosen. They might not be ready for that.
Yeah.
But they might be open to a conversation where you're engaging with their hearts, the few places left in the world that their heart still is happy.
Yeah.
And you go, that's God. He's coming to you through that.
That's good. This is kind of connected. So again, I've been reading your book, John, and absolutely love it.
Thanks.
And when I read, I connect with God. I don't learn how to connect with God.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, which
Yeah.
is really, really beautiful. Something that jumped out to me, this is kind of a quote. You shared that the internet has eroded our capacity to believe and trust, which is at the core of what it means to have faith. Those two things. So how is this subtly impacting us? And how do we fight back against this that's taking place?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, folks, like this is just a moment of kindness that we're bringing to you right now. You just don't know what life with the internet has done to you. Because we've been baked in it. I mean, decades of not the content, decades of the process, where you just don't realize you can get an answer to anything in 1 second. 1 second, right? You just Google, what is the best ADHD program for my child? Click, you get 3 million results. And when that happens for you over and over and over and over and over again, you don't realize your soul is being trained to instant answers. And God doesn't work like that. I mean, you all know that. Prayer doesn't work like that. He doesn't respond like the internet does. And so your soul is literally being trained away from intimacy with God. It's like literally being conditioned against the very thing that's going to save your life. And then Adam was talking about the unbelief thing. So what happens is you get online, you search, what's the proper level of vitamin B12, and you get one expert who says, oh, you need to take, X number of milligrams a day. And then 2 days later you get on and you get another expert saying, those levels are toxic. Who gave you that advice? Like, honestly, this is anything and everything. This is like how to exercise, how to lose weight. It's politics. It's Ukraine. It's Zelensky. It's like, oh no, that's not true. This is true. Oh, that's not true. This is true. And that constant experience now in the world. This is everybody's normal. You just don't really trust much, right? You're like, yeah, I know you're telling me this is the news, but I'm not really sure I trust that. Or this is the right way to train your new dog, and you go, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that that's right because this other expert's saying something completely different,
Gosh, yes.
right? Okay, this is training your soul to mistrust. So these are two examples of the way in which the internet is literally conditioning the human soul away from union and communion
Yeah.
with God. Like I was just listening to one of my prayer apps this morning, and it was one of my favorite passages. It was Jeremiah 17, but the tree that's planted by the water is evergreen, right? Always bearing fruit. And this is referring to humanity. It's like you can be that tree. You can be resilient in times of drought, is what it's describing. If your roots are going down into the river of God, the river of God's life, his love, his provision. Well, the internet life has literally conditioned your soul not to do that. And so you're going to have to push hard back against it. You're going to have to push real hard back against it. Now, the good news is the soul and even the brain, like, we're learning a lot about what they call the plasticity of the brain. The good news is you actually can learn new habits. You can recondition even deeply ingrained life habits. You can recondition. There is a way out, but you're going to need to choose to do that. And so I was telling the story about I'm just online, I'm obsessed, I'm trying to get to the bottom of some news events the other night, and Jesus is like, get off and go out there in the living room and do what you know will put your roots back into the river of God. Like, you know what it takes, John. You go back out there, you release everything, you put on a worship song, you pray, and you go, oh, there you are, right? And to be clear, because we weren't discipled in this either, kind of one of the failures of discipleship in our hour is that we didn't get the goal in mind right. It's not content and it's not discipline. Those things are supposed to bring the soul into an actual union with God, like a ontological, existential, experiential union.
Yep.
That's why we do the things we do. That's why you pray. That's why you study scripture. That's why you fast, or all your practices. That's why you worship on the way to work and instead of listen to the news, because you're inviting your soul back into the vine and branch, the intertwined life, because the soul is healed through union with Christ. Literal union, ontological, existential, and what I'm going to add, experiential union. It's like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. There's your love. There's the orientation. Your actual life. There you are. Will that simple practice will heal your soul of what your culture has done to it?
Okay, so before we get to what we can maybe add to experience God, off of what you just shared, John, 2 or 3 things that you would say to cut out or to not do. Like, is there anything that just like,
Super simple.
yeah, just like, hey, this is what I'm doing myself.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really simple. Like, discipline your phone. I want you to break up with your phone. You're having an affair with your phone, and I want you to break up. And so don't take your phone to bed at night. It shouldn't. Don't come in. The phone does not come into the bedroom. Buy a $9 alarm clock.
right there.
Okay, and you leave it out on the counter on the kitchen, charging. Right, you got to charge it. Face down. So when you come out in the morning, you don't pick it up. That's not the first thing you do. So it's not the last thing you do, and it's not the first thing you do. Because the first thing you do when you come out in the morning, you make your cup of coffee, you stand by the window, you just let yourself be a human being for a moment,
Ugh.
and you say your prayers, you commune with God. Because the moment you pick up the phone, you're in the matrix. Like, here's the angry text from your boss, here's the Mayday phone call from your mom, here's the, uh, you, you can discipline yourself to some very, very simple things. I would regulate your news intake to maybe 5 minutes a day max. Just don't hang out there. It's very simple. Like, be an informed person. Sure, get on, listen. There's a bunch of 5-minute news programs. Pick one that you like and listen to that, and no more.
Ugh.
Like, get off, get off, get off, get off. And then, Adam, this is like kind of like a no-brainer, but um, the problem that people make, the starting point is this: how do I fit a little bit of God into my busy life? That's what they're asking, and I go, I'm not going to answer that question because you're starting from the wrong place. What you have to say is, I'm starting with my life in God, and what I need to personally do, and it's unique to each soul, to maintain that life, and then everything else bows to that. Everybody's trying to ask, how do you fit? Okay, I'm with you. I have a really busy life. I got a lot going on right now. So tell me how to do this really quick. You go, I'm not going to do that. Because you need to reorient your life completely the opposite. You say, I need to be the tree who is planted by the river. That's my starting place, not what I'm trying to cram in. I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to see what bows to it. And you go, wow. Like, for example, I have to stop at lunchtime. By lunchtime, I'm already spun up. I'm mad, I'm anxious, I'm late, I'm behind, I'm mad at the people who are behind. I mean, by noon, my roots are no longer in the river. Okay.
Ugh.
So I stop. And I just know this. I want my life oriented around God. So I know somewhere midday, I'm not going to call it noon, but midday, somewhere around midday, I stop and I come back to what works. I sometimes I'll just walk out the door of the building. I have an office, we have a staff. I walk out the door of the building, I just do laps. I just walk around outside, releasing everything to God, just releasing it. And finding him again, putting my roots back into him. Union and communion is the goal. And then I'm good. Then I can usually make it to our evening ritual. But I have reoriented my life around God instead of trying to cram him into. I have a very, very busy life. I have an insane life sometimes. I'm not going to let that be the North Star, the orientating point. Everything bows to your life with God.
Oh, that's so good. Genuinely, if you're listening, go back and hear that again. And with this, like the whole cell phone thing, like, and I'm going to preach to myself, hey, Weber, stop saying you want your soul to slow down if you're not going to do anything about it. So stop complaining. So if you're listening right now and you're tired and you don't know if you're a robot or a soul, well, stop complaining if you're not going to do anything about it. I don't know if this is tough love, if this is the best approach. John, challenge even my way of saying it. So I moved my cell phone it's in my closet now, away from my bed. But then somehow, and this is the old sneakiness of, so I don't sleep with my cell phone by my bed. Okay, follow-up question for you, Adam. But what about the iPad? Well, that's still by my bed.
Yeah.
And is it connected to the old internet? Yes, it is. Like, it's just so sneaky how that even happens. And then, it's just those things like, I'm preaching at myself here. Yeah. At just those intentional steps, I can tell I'm at a bad place because I feel like a robot without a soul. That's the best way that I explain how I feel at times.
Yeah.
And then I look back and it's like, well, you've been treating yourself like a robot without a soul. That's
Yeah.
why. Um, Anything you want to add on what I just shared? You were speaking, and I'm like, he is talking right to me.
Yeah.
Anything there more there, John, and don't feel like you need to.
um, what I want to do is I want to add the apologetics of desire. Okay. In Psalm 63, when David says, I've seen you, God. I know you. I mean, he's reporting an actual encounter
Yeah.
with the living God. And he says stuff like this in Psalm 63. He says, your love is better than life. And he says, you satisfy me more than the greatest feast. Now, it's not poetry and it's not metaphor. He is reporting what it's like to draw nourishment from God. Okay? And this is the apologetics of desire. When your soul begins to taste and see, when lingering with Jesus is literally the highlight of your day. Adam and I aren't going to need to beat you up. We're not going to need to flog you and say, stop doing what you're doing. Your soul will gravitate to it. You'll go, oh no, you can't even talk me out of this. Like my life, and this is why, if you have not been discipled into that experiential union, then we can't convince you. Like, the reason that you don't want your iPad connected to the internet is because you're just enjoying something so much better.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't like what it does to me. I really enjoy union and communion with God. And you don't have to convince me to stop and say my prayers. You don't have to convince me to worship. Like I'm drawn toward it. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity.
So good.
That's a very different way of living.
That's so good. And well, for someone like me, and maybe come back at this again, John, like that is like this morning, I could not wait to sit with God. I literally woke up because and my first question that I asked God this morning, this is being buried in my soul, is why are you so angry lately? That's what I was asking. I asked the Lord to help me process that. And I couldn't wait to sit with him and ask him that question and help me. But then, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, like busyness of my day, the, wanting to be noticed and validated by somebody, like it's just that constant tug of war.
What I want to say to you, Adam, is that's okay.
Ugh.
That's okay. You live in an insane hour. And most people's lives require a great deal of them. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay that you are not like in that deep place with Jesus all day long. That's okay. That's just the nature of life right now. What we're suggesting is that people build safety nets. Me and my midday practice, that you just know, you know what, by 2 o'clock, I'm a wreck. So I'm just going to put in my calendar in my phone, worship every day at 2. And it's a safety net. And some days you can't make it. You got an appointment or a phone call or the dentist or something. But on a regular practice, you just start building safety nets for yourself. That nobody is going to master in this hour. Very few people are going to master a constant abiding in Christ. The war is just too insane. It's too intense. The world is far too powerful. So what you do is you build safety nets. You go, yeah, I just know that about myself. That's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about that. I had a really sweet time with God this morning. By 2 o'clock, I'm completely taken out. So I'm going to build a safety net in. And then after dinner, instead of getting right back on media, I need another safety net. So I'm going to take 10 minutes and just go outside and sit on the porch and just be, and you build these things in that will catch you as life and that world and the kingdom of darkness wear you down.
That's good. I think even you hear when you say that, John, just someone I look up to and respect so much, because I'll beat myself up. It's like, why are you still dealing with this? And
Yeah.
why is this there? And then it's almost shame that I'm like taking on as well
Yeah.
in the midst
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
everything else. That's just encouraging to hear.
Yep.
Um, would you mind sharing what is that in as simply as you can? So your time over lunch, you walk laps around the building. What do you like for the person who's very new to this? I'm just picturing a driven business leader. I mean, just like, okay, I'm gonna do that today. What should they do on their 30-minute journey? Maybe it's shorter than that.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah. 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 So the practice that's going to save you is benevolent detachment. It is learning to let things go. It is 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your cares upon the Lord because he cares for you. So what you do is you go outside and you offload. You just walk around and you go, I just give that to you. I give that the way that meeting just went, the fact that I'm late on 6 responses. I just let it go. I just give it to you. And you're not asking your soul to do it for the rest of your life. You're asking your soul to do it as you walk around the building. But it's going to save you because you learn to detach. You learn benevolent because I don't do it in anger. I don't do it out of cynicism. I'm just benevolently saying, I got to let this go. I can't. And what's really sweet about beginning to invite Christ into that is I'll go, oh, should I call that person back? And half the time Jesus will say, no, it's fine. It's going to be fine. They totally took it with grace, and you don't need to. There's one last thing you have to do this afternoon. You're walking around, or you're sitting in your car having lunch, or go drive and get a cup of coffee from your favorite place and drive back. You're detaching. And as you're detaching, you're letting things go. And then honestly, I will just pray things like, Jesus, save me. Just save me. You saved me. I need to be saved. Yeah. Rescue me. Help. Mayday. Broken arrow. But he answers that. He would love to save you. Save your soul, right? Like, rescue me, save me. I'm angry, I'm discouraged, I feel, shame, whatever it is, right? I want to go back in and look at my personal assistant again. Like, no, 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 save my soul, save my soul, save my soul, right? So I'm just letting go, and I'm just trying to find God again, right? And then do what helps you. Like, if music helps, put your earbuds in and put on a worship song you like. That'll rescue you so fast. It really will. Or there's some great prayer apps
Yeah.
out right now, you guys. Like, for me, I was just enjoying. There's a Jesuit prayer app called Pray As You Go. It's about 10 minutes. And it'll rescue you. So you're walking around the building, you're just listening to some scripture, some music, some guided prayer. Um, some stuff like that.
That's good. That's good. One last question that just came to mind. One of the hardest points of a person's day that I often hear about, specifically from the driven person, is the re-entry point into their own house at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Honestly, I was like, that's a book. Somebody needs to write a book, How to Come Home Well.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
that feels like a moment that
Yeah.
is a place of
Yeah.
regret, stress, failure for a lot of people. Like they would say that about themselves. I get
Yeah.
home and I want to get up to my bedroom as fast as I can and lock the door behind me so I don't have to talk to my kids.
Yep.
How do we come home at the end of a day when we've done that noon time, which we need to start doing, where we do the laps talk, but then that re-entry point, we get home, our
Yep.
spouse is tired, we're tired, the kids are like, can't wait to talk with us. How do we do that well?
Yep. You have to have a DMZ between work and home. And for me, this is where we built a whole app around this called the 1 minute pause. Because here's what I would do. I pull in the driveway, and instead of jumping out of the car and running in the house, I turn the engine off and I lay my head down on the steering wheel. And I need detox. I need a few minutes. And again, here's what I'm letting it all go. And I'm releasing the day, and I'm releasing the email I probably shouldn't have sent that person. I'm just letting it go, right? Because I'm allowing a DMZ between the chaos and urgency of my day and the person that has shaped me into by home, and walking in the front door. So there's space, there's margin, there's a buffer zone, right? And you might, if you have a commute and you're on the train, oh man, that's golden, because you can just put your headphones on and create that DMZ on your way home. Or in your car, if you choose what you're going to listen to. Again, it comes back to, I'm going to put on some music, and but I really like pull in the driveway, turn off the car, don't get out. Don't get out of the car yet. You're not ready to walk in that door. And so give yourself 5 minutes to get into a better place.
So one last thing. I'm exhausted. What do I do? So I have that 5 minutes. I'm still, but man, I just have nothing to offer these little ones on the other side of that door.
Do you know the prayer? I'm just going to give you this hopeful thing. The prayer that the Holy Spirit has never not answered. So there's one prayer. Stacy and I, we are in this life because we have a very, very full career still. We're very active. We travel, we write, we podcast and all that. But we have loved ones, and it's, Mom and Dad, can you come over? Mom and Dad, can you grab carpool? Or his friends saying, hey, can I get 30 minutes with you? And we're exhausted. I got nothing. And here's the prayer he has never failed. As I say, Holy Spirit, would you give me now what I need to walk in that door? Holy Spirit, because guys, this is a supernatural life. This isn't about you being superhero or you being amazing. That's not the whole point of this at all. It's that there is a supernatural provision for you every moment. And so I ask for it. I'm like, Holy Spirit, give me what I need to love these people tonight, to be present. And he has never not helped me. Never.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, Adam, who else would you like to thank?
Yeah, John Eldredge. I'm so grateful for you. I think you've been on the conversation 3 different times now, and this was by far my favorite episode. And so thanks for the wisdom I personally needed to hear. Thanks to our partners, Generous Coffee, Ben Higgins, I love you, along with Vernite Motor Cars. So grateful for Vernite. Last but not least, thanks to all of you who listen to the conversation on a regular basis. I'm so grateful for you.
Have a great day, guys.